I've done life's a stream. Life has been busy. I have been a little bit more busy with my work, but also trying to focus on things that are kind of like my health and things like that. And I thought, why not just come on today and do a bit of reflection? As I said, it's been a while and just kind of catching up again with YouTube stuff. Uh, I don't remember even the last time that I did a live stream because it's been, as I said, a little bit of a minute. I did a video last week where I was trying to talk about mental health and emotional well-being, but that was something that I literally did like a session on it. So I was like kind of doing lecture, so to say, but just coming live on YouTube and just having like chat and talking about different things has been a bit of a while. And so I thought today I've got a bit of a minute. As I said, it's been a busy season. This is when I'm teaching a lot. This is when also winter for me is one of those interesting seasons because it means I get to stay home more or indoors more. I get to see even now I'm wrapped up at home because it just gets a little bit cold, and it means life kind of slows down for me a little bit, and then we pick up somewhere in spring as we head off towards summer. And as I was just thinking about and reflecting on this year, obviously 2023 is really coming close to an end so quickly. Today is the 6th of December, which means we just have about 25 days and 2023 will be gone and will be gone forever. We'll never see this year again. It has been an interesting year. It's been challenging in itself. I've seen some of those impacts and effects that I never thought like life could be like that. There've been ups, so there've been downs, there've been great times, there've been not great times. But I've learned in all those things to be grateful. I just love the fact that, sometimes we can be complaining about so many things and we feel justified to complain about life, to complain about the things that we set out to do, to complain about situations, to complain about the needs that were not met. But when you start to think about like so many things, the mundane things in life, thinking about the fact that you are healthy today, there will be somebody that maybe they lost their lives this year. Sadly, they never made it beyond December 2023. You might be complaining about the economical issues in downtowns and everything, economic turnarounds. But the fact that you can be able to afford some food, you can be able to kind of in a way, yeah, buy some clothes or have shelter on your head, under your roof on your head. Those are some of those things that you should actually be very grateful for. And so as we're going into the end of the year, heading into Christmas and heading into the 2024 year, I'm actually just looking back, and today I was just thinking about feeling so grateful. It hasn't been the greatest of years, so to say, hasn't been like the smoothest of years. It's been a year that has been, again, as I said, full of ups and downs. There've been challenging times, there've been tough times, but I just want to thank God so much because somebody once said that tough times don't last, but tough people do. And I think those things and those situations that I've seemed to be a little bit tough have actually just taught me to depend more on God, have increased my awareness of the goodness of God, increased my awareness of the love of God, increased my awareness of how blessed I am, of how, like, literally, God has been so good to me. And honestly, I can brag on His goodness and on His love all day long because when I was not feeling great, He's been there with me. He's been the guide, He's been the shield, He's been, I mean, name it, everything. So just thinking back, reflecting on these 25 days that are remaining before this year comes to an end. And I was thinking about some of the things that I would love to engage with as we go into 2024. I was thinking about like some of the habits that I picked up in 2023 that I would love to carry on with me to 2024. And that number one will be journaling. I will definitely be taking journaling with me in 2024, when I just remember how I've been journaling the great times, I've been journaling the not so great times, the blessings and those things, the prayers that have been answered and those prayers that are yet to be answered. And I will definitely love to continue doing that going forward into 2024. I was also thinking about my exercise routine. I've just been so blessed to be able to go out for those runs. For me, exercise has been a lifeline for 2023. I've enjoyed running in the rains, I've enjoyed running in the cold season. Obviously, now I'm not going to running anymore outside because obviously it's really like snowy and wet and icy, and I just want to be able to protect myself, be able to go and fall down and then come back and regret to say I wish I knew. So I am kind of slowing down running outside, but I'm still running when I go to the gym. So running is something that I'll definitely be doing. I love doing map my walk. So they usually do a year long running goal. So like this was 2023, so you commit to running 2023. Oh, how many how many kilometers? I can't remember. You commit to running kilometers that are related to the year. I can tell you that in a minute if I just try to grab my phone to see how many kilometers I committed to running in this year. And just the fact that being able to, hopefully I'm still on, being able to see those kilometers that I've run this year has been super encouraging. And that's something that I definitely would love to do going forward. So, the challenge is running 1023. Sorry, I got it right around. Can't remember. The challenge is to run 1023 kilometers for 2023, and next year will be 1024. So that's something that I will be committing to doing, running 1024. Because when you have some targets that you set, that really helps. I targeted 1023, and I've actually run 1380.53 by now, and I still know for the remaining 25 days of this year, I will definitely do some more running. And so something that I'm looking forward to doing going into 2024. The other thing I still want to continue doing going into 2024 is looking after myself a little bit more. I can't think if there is something that I look back and I think like I will have done a little bit different in this year, is prioritizing to look after myself a bit more, looking after my mental health, my emotional well-being. I do lots of physical, so I do like my exercise, I do my diet and things like that. But just being able to rest a bit more, that's something that obviously I didn't do much in this year. I didn't take much holidays. I didn't take time to go away or to be away or to concentrate on just resting. So I never really managed to kind of just switch off completely. And that is on repercussions on myself, obviously. But going into 2024, that's something that I really want to prioritize. I want to prioritize just taking some time off. It might be with my little boy or with my husband and my child, and just going away and spending some time. It might be a weekend away, a weekend break away or something, but that's something that I really, really would love to do going into 2024. I was also thinking about like generally the fact that this year I have mainly tried to kind of do more of like building up a little bit of my channel, trying to kind of understand what really should I put out there, what should I not put out there, trying different types of things. And I think going into 2024, I just want to try and focus more on total wellness and focus more on things that will also be growing myself alongside. So as I said, I'll be doing lots of focusing on rest, being intentional about just switching off. I try to talk about Sabbath, that I have a day off, that I'm like, I'm not doing social media. I'm not on Facebook. I'm not on YouTube. But sometimes I get tempted. I'm human. I get tempted, and then I find myself trying one thing leads to the other thing leads to the other. And I haven't been so much good at that, but this is something that I really want to do. Just getting some time off, like a weekend away, that I'm like, nope, no social media, even away make or month, I don't know, just to get away from social media. It's not that I'm saying that social media is bad. If you thrive, you get your energy from social media, that's great. Do what works for you. But I've realized for me, if just when I switch off, even if it's just like a day or a week away from social media, that has been really helpful, because it helps me to kind of the time that I spend in that just helps me again to be able to focus on other things, to be able as well just to kind of just be me. I was listening earlier on to one of the videos that I made over a year ago, and the video is about running in your own lane, your own pace, and your own race lane, and in your own pace. And I just kind of reminding myself today, saying that if you are not careful, we live in a world where I can easily find myself. I want to run somebody else's race. I want to run, the glamour that I'm seeing on social media, people showing me their lives, their greener sides, and the grass is always greener on the other side. And I will start to want to be like that. I will maybe allow comparison to come in, to feel like maybe I'm not doing that bad, or maybe I should do a bit better, maybe I do this. And honestly, as I grow older, I'm finding it much more difficult to pace up with other people's races. And so that's something that I'll be very intentional about going into 2024, to say, Claire, remember, it's your own race, it's your own pace. Do not run in somebody else's pace. Do not run in somebody else's lane. You don't want to be disqualified. And just doing my thing, focusing more on the goal that is set ahead of me. I remember one of the verses in the Bible that says, competing against, according to the rules, fixing your eyes on Jesus, the author and the perfecter of your faith. So that's what I want to do. Fix my eyes on the goal that is ahead, fix my focus on what I need to do, and not competing, not comparing myself, just getting for what is ahead of me, just kind of focusing on what is ahead of me. So I'll much more slow down a little bit more unnaturally, because most of my busy season is coming now. It started now. It's getting into that momentum, and I'm gonna be busy until maybe mid-ish of next year. And so looking forward into that, which is kind of gives me some encouragement and some hope to keep on going and to keep on pressing on. The other thing that I think 2024, I really want to be intentional about it. I want to be intentional about looking after my relationships, looking after the people that God has given in my life. So, kind of being present when I have like talks, maybe with my little boy. Sometimes I'm talking to him and my mind is somewhere else. I'm thinking about this, I'm thinking about the other. I just want to focus in being present, focus on the now, focus on the moment, focus on the season, focus on what is happening. Because you know what? Somebody once said, tomorrow or the future is something that we have no idea about. We don't know what tomorrow will bring. The yesterday is history, is gone. No matter how much we can do, we can't bring back yesterday. We can learn from the mistakes or the great things from yesterday, but that's gone and gone forever. We'll never relive yesterday, but today is a present. Enjoy the today. And that's what I want to do. Enjoy the present, that every single day comes as a gift wrapped in different forms. It might be wrapped in challenges, it might be wrapped in trials. I usually say the faith that hasn't been tested cannot be trusted, right? Can God trust you with more of his people? Can God trust you with more of different assignments to be able to do, because he has tested your faith? I I've realized this year, particularly when I've been going through some rough patches, I've realized that sometimes it's so easy for us to start counseling people and start telling people about, oh, you shouldn't do that or do this or do the other thing. We are so good at judging, we're so good at pointing fingers. But until you go through, excuse me, until you go through something that kind of reminds you you're human, that kind of reminds you to slow down, that kind of reminds you to put yourself in the feet of that person. It's so difficult, right? You can easily give me all the tools to say, this is how you can look after your mental health, or this is how you can look after your physical health, or this is how you can look at your after emotional well-being. But you know what? What you read in a textbook is not the same as what you experience. From a textbook, I can actually tell you how you can do life, right? I can tell you how you can parent, be a better parent, be good at diet, and all those kind of things, which is amazing and which is incredible. I can easily do that, right? But when it comes to reality, you find that somebody who has been able to successfully parent children that have gone astray, teenagers that have been difficult to handle, can be a better place to talk about parenting than somebody that, for example, for myself, who I'm still parenting a 6 year old, right? And sometimes it's not easy and it's not the best thing to experience some things, but sometimes I have learned, somebody said something that I read that was so encouraging, saying that your story can be somebody else's survival guide. You might read my story one day and think, oh wow, if she can have this thing and still be able to make it and still be able to stand up and still be able to do ABCD, then I can as well do that. And so allowing myself coming here to be present, as I said, but also to allow myself to say, no matter what is happening, the challenges that come in my life, embracing them and receiving them with thanksgiving, saying, thank you that I can be able to go through this. Because imagine if you don't go through those stuff, right? And just expect other people to go through life to happen to other people. How will you be able to ever tell somebody about life, right? How will you be able to, you don't want just to be talking about other people's stories. Let other people as well talk about your story, to learn about your story, to say, well, I have learned this from Claire, I have learned this from so and so, because your story can be, again, as I said, somebody else's survival guide. So I'm going to ensure that I enjoy and I'm present in the moment going into 2024. And above everything, I'll just want to loving being myself, being me, and not wanting to imitate anybody else, which is something that I've said ago before. Just being who God has made me to be, enjoying who I am, loving who I am, and just celebrating who I am. It doesn't mean that I want to be mean, but just being, somebody said, humility is not thinking less of yourself, but just thinking of yourself less, right? Being humble in such a way that you're like, it's not all about me, that your life is just around me, that you become like a meerkat, can't talk kind every time. No, but it's kind of just like thinking about things that if I am okay, if I look after myself, if I look after my well being, self care, then when I am rested, I'm in a good place to also be able to meet other people's needs, to be able to go to class, deliver my session, come out of class feeling like, well done, Clay. You have been able to impact somebody else's life. Because before you realize, actually, the way you look after yourself, talk so much about yourself, right? The way you value you, the way you value who God has made you to be, the way you value the things that happen in your life, the way you value looking after yourself. If I'm well rested, if I'm well invested in me, I am a good soil, I'm a good ground, I can invest in me. When I've done that and I'm in a good place, I can go to class and have a great session. My students will benefit, right? I can come home a very good wife, good mother, measuring good. I don't know how you can have a good meter to measure how good person is, but let me talk about it relatively. It makes you become a bit more aware. And I mean, when they say mama ain't happy, everybody's not gonna be happy. So kind of in a way, and remember, happiness is dependent on happening. So I don't want to be happy. I want to be full of joy. I want to be able to experience the joy that nothing will take away, but I don't want my happiness to be dependent on the happenings, the things that are happening around me, to detect and to determine what I do and how my year and how my day, how my week, how my month looks like. So, as I bring this to a wrap up, just to talk a little bit about those things that I feel I want to be able to be intentional about being present, intentional about being me, intentional about self care, intentional about creating time again to be relational, create those good relationships, and above everything, just reaching out to understand What is the purpose that God is putting ahead of me for 2024? I love doing the 40 days of the year, just repurposing. And I love this year, did something that I want to do it again. I started with the 40 days of the purpose. I was doing 40 days of the purpose driven life by Rick Warren. So doing a chapter every single day for the first 40 days of the year. And of course, your purpose is permanent, right? But the way you approach it, or the shifts, there can be shifts as the year comes to, as a new year comes, and you find that this can as well change, right? Your shape can change, which he explains in the purpose driven life book. And as your shape changes, you need to adjust and to adapt to that. And that's something I'm going to be doing again in the new year. And I will talk a bit more with this as the year goes by. I hope I'll be able to get some more time before the year comes to an end to do another live stream or another video, because I hope that this is not the last one I'm doing for 2023. As I said, it's a busy season for me, but I'm enjoying it. I'm loving it. I love being in class. I love spending time with my students and impacting some knowledge to them. And so that brings me to the end of today's live stream, which is just a chat, me chatting about my 2023 kind of, and what I want to do going into 2024. I shall be back again to say hello, 2024. Here we come. Gonna be a great year. Have a lovely rest of your day, and I shall see you all very soon. My prayer is that you will prosper and be in good health, even as your souls prosper. Have a great evening. If you haven't done that, why not click that like button? Consider subscribing, sharing this content, as it goes a long way in supporting what you're doing. Goodbye and God bless.